in the words of my brother Sam Foster. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get this week started? So without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to bring up my sister, whom you've heard from her multiple times, and she's given us great stories from the dream giver, the thief of joy, and one of my favorites, the teacup. So without further ado, I want to bring up one of our top producing RDs and my sister, Miss Natasha Ismail. Are you there, ma'am?
Good morning. Okay, after that, I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. But first of all, totally surprised when we saw Mr. Clemens back in his office. I was like looking for the beach back there. I'm like, I do not see any water. I do not see any sand. But thank you so much, Mr. Clemens, for opening up. And he talked about how we're like brother and sister. And you guys that know us, y'all know that we fight like it. And y'all know that we love each other like it. And it's just one of those relationships. But it wouldn't have come if it wasn't for this business. Because before this business, I didn't even know he existed, and neither did any of you. So before we get started, can we please give it back to him for that amazing video? I don't know if you guys caught it, okay? I don't know if y'all caught it, but he put in like these little echoes for Mr. Lewis, and he put in an echo for Sam Foster, and I'm just like, that's talent, okay? So I don't know how he does it all, but he just needs to know that we appreciate him so much. And we can't wait to just get together in person whenever that's going to be. And I know that Mr. Thomas is listening. I hear him, or I mean, I see him on the call, and I feel him, and like I hear him in my ears. Okay, the good morning, good morning, morning. I heard it. All right. And since, he's not able to speak right now, I'll go ahead and give some shout outs before we get started. Okay. So I want to thank Mr. Thomas for even having us on the call, and even doing this call is something that he doesn't have to do, but he does it because he cares and he wants to help everyone. So before we get started, I'm led to do something a little different today. And I know it's probably not what you guys are used to hearing from me. So, I mean, you have a couple of times, but it's just not something that I do all the time. And I attended a women's event this weekend, and there were so many women that were in pain, and they were just being so hard on themselves, and they did not give themselves credit at all. They were doubting themselves. They were the last person on their self-care priority list, and everybody else came before them. And I know this week we talked about vision, we talked about emotions, we talked about pain, and I just had this feeling. So the true story, okay? So I'm about to fall asleep. It was like midnight. And I get like all these thoughts for the call today. And I was like, oh my God, I got to write this down. Because anytime that happens, if you lose it, you don't get it back. Okay. So I got my phone and I typed out everything that was in my brain. I just brain dumped everything. And that's what you guys are going to get today. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I know that there's somebody on here that this is going to make a difference for. And if it does that for at least one person, then my job was worth it. Okay. So y'all might want to get your tissues ready, because you might need some tissues for this one. Okay. I'm just saying, just giving a warning. And so I want everyone to take a deep breath. Just relax. Just take a deep breath and relax. Now, I want you to think back to a time, the very first time, Mr. Willie Crib, you better not fall asleep, just relax, okay? So think back to the very first time when you were ever told that you're not good enough, or when somebody made you feel like you weren't good enough. Now, whether it was a parent, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a friend or a relative, just think back to that time when somebody made you feel less than. And I want you to ask yourself, did you start smiling a little less after that? Did you kind of tone down how much you were talking to people after that? Did you kind of start to doubt yourself after that? Did you kind of start to put yourself in a shell after that? So most people have gone through something like that. And the older that we get, the deeper that ocean of just judgment gets. right? The deeper that ocean of judgment gets. And we start to chip away at who we really are. And, we've heard Mr. Lewis even talk about, being yourself and just authenticity. And we love talking about that, right? So I want everyone to just think about it, how you just started chipping away at who you really are. And you started to turn into something that society wanted you to be, the descriptions that society and people were giving you. And, like, it's normal to struggle. You got to live for the weekends. You got to work Monday through Friday. You party on the weekends. You blow all your money on the weekends. You run out of money by the end of the month. It's not even the end of the month yet. And it's not cool to be smart in class. It's not cool to raise your hand in class. And you have to go to school, you have to get a job, you have to pay the bills, right? That we get paid on. And then you got to get married, and then you got to pay bills again. Oh, and then you have to have kids, which, by the way, nobody teaches you like how to have a raise or anything. They don't come with the manual. And then you got to pay more bills, and you got to buy diapers now. And then you die, but the bills keep coming, so your family's going to have to deal with that. And somewhere along the line, we lost ourselves. Now, how many of us right now, if you were to look at yourself and think, where the hell did I go? Like, where did I go? Because somewhere along the line, I lost myself. And how the hell am I this many years old already, right? Because you look back, you're like, I'm how old? What number is that on my birthday cake, right? And you're just like, you don't know how it happened. So to set everything up, and it's not going to be a long call, but to set everything up, I'm going to go ahead and play a video. And then right after that, I'm going to do an exercise with everyone. And if you don't pay attention to this video, then the exercise is not going to make sense. Okay?
Are you willing to disrupt any form of what you know? Are you willing? Are you willing to reinvent yourself? Are you willing? Are you willing to become someone you've never seen before? Are you willing to run, leap, and soar, even at the possibility that you might fall? Are you willing? Are you willing to do something you've never done before, say something you've never said before, do the things you don't want to do, say the things you don't want to say, so that you can be the man, the woman you've always known yourself to be? Are you willing? See, I didn't come here to give you a lot of answers. I came here to disrupt your soul with a lot of right questions. Because I wasn't supposed to be here. I was that kid that was always struggling with self-esteem. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? No one looks like me, makes it anywhere. I'm chocolate, mocha skin, full lips, round hips, and kinky hair. You just don't see me on TV. You don't see me glorified. You don't see me representing beauty. You don't see me. So the world didn't give me permission to be here, but I didn't ask for it either. So some of you are still asking for permission. And sometimes you have to stop asking for permission, and it's just time to give the world notice. So I just showed up to invite you to give the world notice that you're coming. Give the world notice that you've been here. Give the world notice that you've played polite long enough. Now it's time to play full out. Give the world notice that unapologetic just showed up. Give the world notice that non-negotiable just showed up. Give the world notice that if they can't handle your light, that you're tired, you're no longer going to dim your light. If they can't handle your light, put on some shades. Because when you become that bold, when you become that audacious, when you become that unapologetic, all of a sudden you become infectious. All of a sudden, just the mere glimmer of you, when I can catch a glimpse of you, when I can get in your hemisphere, in your atmosphere, in your zip code, something happens to me because I'm in proximity. And then you become absolutely aware of the true assignment on your life. That you were here to save us. You were here to inspire us. By the way you walk with assistance, by the way you rise above your own uncertainty, by the way you push past your religious conversation, your cultural conversation, your economic conversation, your gender conversation, by the way you show up and say, how can I serve humanity? So what is your quest? It might just be to go home and be 1,000% present with your children. Your quest might be to love an unlovable sibling. Like, it might be that. I'm a girl who as a mom in 1995, I was broke and broken. And all I was committed to do was not spend the next 25 years in that brokenness. So I didn't decide my quest out of a pursuit of serving the world in a big way. I stepped into my quest becoming committed that I won't have it that way anymore. So however you step, just step. However you step, just step. Sometimes you gotta step out of something before you're stepping into something. Just step. Don't get paralysis of the analysis trying to make sure the step is right. I'd rather you take 10 steps wrong than analyze trying to make one step right one more day while someone's waiting to be inspired by you. I'm still figuring out how to get it right, but I've done some good work trying to figure out how to get it right. One day I'm gonna master this thing. One day. So I just stopped by to stir your soul. I stopped by to not let you off the hook of your brilliance, of your genius, of your humanity, of the willingness to live in a constant duality, allowing your brilliance and your confusion to coexist, and you embrace them both. Not waiting for another thing, not waiting for another person, not waiting for any permission, not waiting for someone to validate you, not waiting for your mother, your father to say you're okay, not waiting for the man, the woman in your life to say go, be free, not waiting. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? Are you willing? So I don't know if everybody caught the messages in that video, but I could see Sam Foster's face and I'm like, that's my dude. Like he was just like coming through the screen. I kept getting goosebumps. And so my question to everyone is, are you willing? Are you willing to go against the grain? Are you willing to disrupt what you know? Are you willing to reinvent yourself? Are you willing to become someone that you've never seen before? Are you willing to run, leap, and soar? So why are we waiting for permission? So my job today is to tell you to stop waiting for somebody to give you permission. And you guys know that when I do the calls, when I'm speaking on this call, it's the same exact thing that I need to hear. So when I'm talking to everyone, I'm talking to myself because it's something that I need to hear. And for some reason, it comes out and somebody else needs to hear it too. But think about our whole life. We've been asking permission our whole life. Teacher, can I use the bathroom? Mom, can I have that ice cream? Dad, can I have $20? Can I go to that dance? Can I do this? Can I do that? How many of us have done that? We've asked permission our whole life. Let me give you all a newsflash. You're grown. You're grown. You are grown. GROWN. Okay? Stop waiting for permission and give yourself the permission and give the world notice. I love when she said that. She said that and I was like, ooh, I'm giving the world notice. So how many of you guys are ready to give the world notice? How many of you are ready to give the world notice? Just raise your hand, wave them at me, give me jazz hands, give me whatever. Okay, cool. Everyone's ready to give the world notice. Now, I'm going to say some things, and I know I can't hear you right now, but I want everybody to repeat what I'm about to say and embody this moment right here, because this whole exercise had me like bawling on the weekend, okay? Like bawling on the weekend. So I want everybody to say I, and then say your name. So I, Natasha, say your name. Okay, I, Sam, I got you. Am giving the world notice. It's my time and I'm coming for it. I'm breaking free of the judgment of others. I'm breaking free of the self-judgment. Come, Miss Pat, put some oomph into it. I see you. Put some oomph into it. I'm breaking free of the naysayers. I'm breaking free of people who don't support me because I support myself. I'm breaking free of the stereotypes. I'm breaking free of the timelines that society tells me to have. Come on, Mr. Jamar, I see you. I see you. I'm breaking free of the lies that I've been told in order to keep me in the land of familiar. I'm breaking free of the chains that I linked on myself one by one by one. I'm breaking free. And I'm gonna end with this exercise. Everybody right now, go ahead and put your heart, go ahead and put your hand on your heart. You can put both, you can do one, whatever you wanna do. Take a deep breath. And if you can and are able to and willing to, go ahead and close your eyes. My husband, do not do that because I know you're driving. I want everybody to feel that beating. Miss Pat, you better get your hand up there. I don't see your hand. There it is. Okay, okay. Do you feel that beating? Now, I want you to understand that that beating is what has you here right now. Not everybody was so lucky to wake up with that beating this morning. Every single beat, every single pump that you feel is a miracle. You are a walking, talking miracle. Now, I want everybody to thank their heart. Just thank your heart. Thank your heart for allowing you to be here right now. Thank your heart for allowing you to feel every single moment of your life, the happiest moments of your life, the saddest moments of your life. Thank it for everything. Thank your heart for all of the heartache that you've been through and all of the heartache that you've caused it. Every time you had your heart broken, it still beated for you. Thank it for continuing to beat for you. Slow in the slow moments, fast in the fast moments, very, very fast when you get pissed off at your kids because they do something wrong that you don't want them to do, right? When your husband don't take out the trash, okay? But be thankful that you have that person or those people because everybody's not so lucky. And now with your hands over your heart, I want you to tell yourself, I love you. Tell yourself right now, I'm watching. Tell yourself out loud, I love you. You can say your name. Tell yourself, I forgive you. I forgive you. I love you and I forgive you for everything that I have ever put you through. Now I'm going to say some affirmations and I want everybody to repeat after me. You can open your eyes. You can remain with your hands on your heart, with your eyes closed, however you want to do this, but this is how I'm going to end. I want you to declare right now to yourself, I will not continue to live beneath my potential. I will go after my goals. I will break the generational curses that were put on this family. I am the ambassador of my bloodline. That's a good one. We're going to say that again. I am the ambassador of my bloodline. It is my time. It is my time. I am the change. I am the change. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I am the change. I am me. And there's no one else that I'd rather be. Now, Mr. Clemens, I know I didn't ask for this before, but if we could just unmute everyone, I want everyone to say, I am the change out loud. If we could do that very, very quickly. So y'all can wipe your tears, you can do all that.
I am the change.
I am the
Yes.
change.
I am the change.
I am the change. I am the change.
Say it again, let me hear you.
I am the change.
What are we?
I am the change.
I
am the change.
I am the
I'm the
change.
ambassador of my bloodline.
I am the change.
Yes.
Change.
You are the change.
I am the change.
I am the
I am the
change.
change.
I am the
I'm the
change.
ambassador of my bloodline.
I am the ambassador of my
Mr. Clemens, you
I'm
can
the
mute up again.
ambassador.
All right. You are the change. But you have to be willing to go against the grain. You have to be willing to reinvent yourself. You have to be willing to embrace yourself. You have to be willing to stop doubting yourself because there's a lot of other people to doubt you. The world is full of doubters. It's time that you have somebody that believes in you. Think about all the people that believe in you. The people on this call, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Clemens, Mr. Lewis, Mrs. Driscoll, everybody believes in us. Everyone. But it's up to us to actually do something with it. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to stop being so hard on yourself. Stop letting the things that other people tell you become your reality. What does Les Brown say? Somebody else's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Who cares? Somebody's like, oh, you're doing one of those things? Yeah, you want to do it too? Oh, are you still doing that phone thing? Yeah, you still paying that bill thing? You have to be willing to do something different. You guys got this. Now, the last thought that I'm going to leave you with is you are in May. We're already in May. Everything started last March. So we're a year and a couple months over. And I know everybody hearing my voice, especially if you're on this call, you are not coming out of quarantine. Heather, your puppy's so cute. You are not coming out of quarantine the same way that you went into it. I see everybody shaking their head. You are not. You are coming out of your cocoon. We've literally been in a cocoon for the past year. Mrs. Driscoll talks about butterflies. The only way a butterfly can be born is after being in a cocoon in the darkness by itself for a long time. It's your time and you are coming out of your cocoon. And don't you dare let anybody put you back into that cocoon that you were coming out of. Stop trying to fit into places that you've already outgrown. Stop trying to put your puzzle piece into somebody else's puzzle because it doesn't fit there. You have your own puzzle. You have your own picture on the box. Now it's your job to just figure it out. That vision that you see in your mind, that thing that you see. I told my husband this morning, I was like, it's so hard to just like explain to people what I see in my head. I see these calls, they have thousands and thousands of people on them. Our internationals, when we get back in person, whatever that's going to be, like instead of one arena, they're going to have two. Okay, because our whole team is going to take up a whole arena. We're building an army. We're building an empire. We're building something so big. Everybody is going to have no stress or very low stress. Your bills are going to be covered. And guess what? All your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, and your residuals can cover that. Just imagine that. What if it just covered that? You don't have to make millions of dollars. You don't have to want to make billions of dollars. What if it was an extra $500 or $1,000? Because there's some people right now that aren't even making that. And if you do the math, if you divide all of the time that you spend on calls or talking to people or showing the business or anything like that, you are paying yourself way beneath minimum wage. And I know in entrepreneurship that happens, but you've been doing it for way too long. If you wouldn't go to a job that would let you be there for $10 an hour, why do you let yourself pay yourself like $2 an hour? You are worth way more than that. And when Mr. Thomas tells us that we're living way beneath our potential, that's what he means. And I know his heart, and I know that it hurts him to see people living way beneath what they can be. And that's why he tries so hard to bring it out of us. And I know that every single person on this call has it in them. And I know how bad you want it because that's how bad I want it. I can look at some people's eyes and I know you're in pain. I know you've lost loved ones, so have I. I know you're going through something right now because guess what? Everybody is going through something. Everybody's got something going on. But you can't let that stop you because the world doesn't stop for you. Time doesn't stop for you. Money doesn't stop for you. So why are you stopping for you? Stop waiting for permission and give the world notice because it's your time. It's your time. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to me for the past 20 minutes. And Mr. Clemens, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you.